Good morning, students. So let's come up to a new change in the paradigm that was agile that came into existence. So till now we have done the software development which were based on a process that was phased development approach. An example to that phased development approach was SDLC. So it was a process, right? So we were supposed to follow that process, though the order of those phases could be changed in different models, but the basic activity remains the same. And if we follow those process properly, it is bound to give you a quality product, right? But what was lagging in that process was customer was not satisfied because he was expecting the working software to be developed in no time, right? He was very eager to get his working software immediately. But that was not possible because you have to follow all the phases prior to deliver even a iteration also. A single iteration also requires all those phases to be carried out, right? In that manner, but customer was like, I need it immediately. So that led to the you can say existence of or coming innovation of this new methodology. Agile is not exactly a process or a method, I could say. Rather, agile is, you can say, an approach which is flexible in nature, right? Agile, very quick, flexible, not systematic. That is agile. So how this agile way of developing a software is going to satisfy the customers, right? How it is going to deliver your software or an iteration in a very rapid way that could satisfy your customer. Now how rapid we mean, like we have seen in the traditional models, it was years. Then came was RAT, which took 60 to 90 days. Then came as RUP, that took normally 45 days to deliver an iteration. Then what about Agile? Agile takes 2 to 4 weeks to deliver a working iteration. So see how we have reduced that years to just 2 to 4 weeks in agile methodology, right? So we'll be looking how this happens, what is basically the principles on which agile is based, what are the manifestos. Then we'll be working on two different methods of agile, that is known as extreme programming, and the second one is a scrum. So first of all, what is rapid software development, right? Rapidity means very quick, okay? Very quick in the sense, as soon as customer gives the problem, you are in a condition to develop and deliver it immediately. That is very quick, right? But what is the problem associated with this is the requirements keeps on changing. Business is operating in a very fast changing requirement, and it is impractically possible to produce a set of stable software requirements. And once the requirements keeps on changing, you have to evolve your software so that it can adapt to that changed requirement. So in order to adapt to this changed requirement, what is present or exist in agile methodology is, it's not a planned approach. We never go for extensive planning like traditional models. It is drastically reduced. Along with that, specification, designing and implementation are interleaved. That means these are not the activities which is carried out separately in an elaborative way. We interleave them. That means in a combined way these are being carried out very shortly, just to make your working software uh, available to the customer, right? So they are combined together. Along with that, the software is developed in iteration. We know that several versions are being released. An iteration releases a version, second iteration will release a say new version or a modified version. So in iterations we are going to develop the software. These three activities will be interleaved together, right? And user interface are often developed using an IDE and a graphical tool set. So we don't go for extensive coding, we just prepare with the graphical tool set and integrated development environment. We quickly develop the features whatever is required. Along with this, we pay less attention to the documentation also. So the major factor that leads to this rapid development is these three activities are interleaved. System is delivered in iterations, that is versions, and user interface is developed using the tool set, which takes less time. And the fourth one is least documentation, right? So see, what is agile methodology? Dissatisfaction with the overheads involved in software design methods of 1980s and 90s led to the creation of agile method, right? So this is what is said is, in the traditional approach we were planning our software, right, in an extensive way, then requirements, then designing, then coding, right? So before coding we were carrying out those activities. So design was the major thing. We have seen the evolutionary of design, like low level, high, early programming languages, high level, then control flow came into existence, then data structures came. After data structures we have data flow oriented, after data flow oriented, object oriented design. Remember that evolutionary? So it says that that was an overhead, right? Overhead means extra effort and work was required to be done on that designing, due to which we were not able to deliver the software very quickly. So what does agile says? Focus on the code rather than the design. Our main aim must be to make this code work, which is going to actually implement your problem, not on the design. It must be an iterative approach. Never develop the software, complete software at one go. Identify the core functionalities to be delivered, and in iterations or increments you can deliver those based on the customer's priority. And the third one are intended to deliver working software quickly and evolve this quickly to meet the changing requirement. The second reason for iterative is, first is as per the customer's prioritized requirement, and the second one is since the requirement keeps on changing, so in order to adapt to those changing requirement we deliver it in iterations, right? The aim of agile method is to reduce overhead in the software process, that is by limiting documentation, which is important, and to be able to quickly respond to changing requirements without excessive rework. That means if there any change comes in the traditional model, what we were supposed to do is we have to go back and rework on all the phases so that they are synced with each other. But it says now, in order to meet the or respond to the quickly changing requirement, we want that rework is drastically reduced. Only the portion which is required to be changed, we change there and it works. This is what is agile like. So it's not a systematic approach, like I said, it's flexible. You don't have to follow that sequence or the rigid process. You are free to do in your own way, right? It's an individualistic way. How much skill and experience you have, you can use it in your own way and you can deliver the software. Just the major thing is, the main stress is on the coding rather than designing or any planning or documentation, and you just deliver the working software very quickly to the customer and customer is satisfied. But what is the core values? How this can be achieved, right? How this is achieved is determined by Agile Manifesto. So remember, we have 4 Agile Manifestos, and these are very important. You have to remember this. So what does it mean, right? In first one is individuals and interaction over process and tools. So see, in each of these 4 sentences you will find we have 2 parts. A left hand side, that is individual and interaction, and the right hand side is process and tools, that is over is in middle stage, right? You will say working software over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, responding to change over following a plan. So see, you have 2 parts, a left hand side and a right hand side. So left hand side represents the agile, right, while right hand side represents the SDLC or the traditional approach. So let's see the first manifesto, individuals and interaction over process and tools. So we knew that in the traditional models we will stick to a process, that is SDLC. You have to rigorously follow that SDLC and case tools for different activities so that you can do your work effectively and deliver the software. But the problem was it delivers the software very late, and it is expensive. So we say, rather than following this process and tools, what we are going to do in Agile is, we will be concentrating more on the individuals and the interaction. That means process is not important here, people is important here, the persons who are involved, both the development team members also and the customers. We are talking individual means both the parties here. So these two categories of people, the development team members and the customer, is important, and the interaction between them is important. So you don't have to follow a process or a tool. Better is pay attention to the people who are involved and the interaction. It must be a very cooperative, and collaboration must be there. They must work hand in hand with each other. We know that in Agile what happens is, customer is a part of development team member. Right? It's not that like in the traditional model, customer gives you the problem statement and then he goes away. You develop it, and once it is developed, you give it to the customer for evaluation. So customer is nowhere involved during the development in the traditional approach. But the fact which makes Agile a successful one is, customer is throughout involved in the software development. He is a part of your team. He gives you the requirement, and as you start the development, he keeps on evaluating it at the same time. Right? If any modification comes, he gives you right then and there itself. So since he is a part of a team, so he will be, all his requirements will be properly implemented as per his need, and as and when he wants any change, you change it immediately, and at the same time he evaluates at the same time. You don't have to go for extensive testing process also after coding. He is evaluating then and there itself as and when you're coding it. Right? So this is what it is said, since he is a part of a team, right? So the interaction between them is important rather than following a process or a tool. This is what is meant. Second one is working software over comprehensive documentation. See, we said in SDLC we have to go for preparing documents at each and every step. Like as soon as you prepare, done with the phase, you prepare a document, right? Like in SRS you prepare, after requirements you prepare SRS document, after designing you prepare a design document, once the code is done you prepare a source code document, after testing you prepare a test and an error report. So after each and every phase we were actually wasting our time in preparing the documents, right? But what is important in Agile is working software. It says don't prepare comprehensive documentation. We don't require it at all. What is our aim is to just make our software work. That is, coding is important. Our software must be implementable as per the need. Don't waste time and effort in just writing the documents and maintaining them, right? So least documentation is present in Agile. We never say zero because source code is also a document. So it's never zero, it's least. Then the third one is customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Now where does contract negotiation takes place in SDLC? Say customer gave you the problem, you identified the requirements relevant to that in the requirement analysis phase, right? You roughly estimate, are we able to complete that software in the given time and cost as stated by the customer? If yes, okay, fine. If not, you negotiate with the customer, no, I cannot implement this in the given time and cost. Either increase the time or increase the cost, then only I can do the work. So we keep on negotiating with the customer during the requirement analysis before signing the SRS document, right? But it says, Agile says never negotiate with the customer, right? We don't have a contract here. What is a contract? The SRS document is signed by developers as well as the customer. Both the parties sign the document. It becomes a legal document. It serves as a contract there. But as such, in the Agile, there is no contract, and neither we are going to negotiate it. Whatever customer says, we collaborate. He says he wants X thing, we'll say okay, Y. He says I need Y, I will say yes. Right? Always a yes approach is there. Collaborate and cooperate with the customer. Remember one thing, customer is considered to be a god in case of Agile methodology. Whatever customer is saying, that is good. You have to do it. You can never deny that, right? Because customer is what whom you are going to satisfy. Who is your, you can say, the business. He gives you the business, so ultimately you have to abide by whatever he says. So cooperate with him in any way, whatever he says, right? And the fourth manifesto is responding to change over following a plan. In SDLC, we say we have to follow a planned approach. First, we'll go for feasibility, then we start with the requirements, then designing, then coding. That means that was a systematic approach, and we have prepared a plan and we are moving ahead with the plan. Say 15 days for feasibility, 1 month for requirement analysis, and then another 1 month for designing, coding say 2 months. So we were following that plan. But here it says never follow a plan. Agile says respond to change. As soon as any change comes, leave whatever is the planned thing, whatever you had, you just accept that change and work according to that change what customer gives, right? So this is what is responding to change at then and there itself, as and when it comes in, right? Never stick to that plan which was taking place during SDLC. So hopefully these points are clear. Individual and interaction is important. Working software is important. Cooperate with the customer and respond to the change always, right? So it says we value these points in Agile while we value these in SDLC. Okay? So now how these values can be achieved? We have 5 Agile principles, and if you follow these 5 principles, these values will be, manifestos will be satisfied. So what are these? The first one is customer involvement. So I have told you that customer is throughout involved during the development in case of Agile. So what is the purpose of customer's involvement throughout the development? First of all, he provides the requirement, right? Then he helps to prioritize the requirements whatever you have or modify the existing requirements. And once you develop it, he keeps on evaluating the iterations then and there itself. So he is throughout involved, right? He is a part of the team. He gives you the requirement, he prioritizes it, he modifies it, he evaluates it. Through this is important, the customer involvement. If the customer is not willing to be involved throughout the development, we can never use Agile. Remember this. Agile method can always be used when customer is committed to be a part of development team member. Then second one is incremental delivery. So that is when the software is developed in increments with the customer specifying the requirements to be included in each increment, right? So in increments you are going to deliver iterations or increments. Now what is important here is people, not process. SDLC was a process, so we are not sticking to process here. What is important is, like we have seen here, individuals and the interaction between them. That means the peoples are involved. Whosoever is involved in the software development is important, whether is a development team member or is a customer, right? Process is not important. So people means what? The skills of the development team member should be recognized and exploited, right? Team members should be left to develop on their own ways of working without perspective process. That means your individualistic way, your own way of coding you can use. You don't have to follow certain standards or guidelines or any process. Whatever you feel like is good based on your skills and experience, you can do that. You are free to do anything. It's a flexible approach. Fourth one, embrace change. Embrace means accept the changes. Never deny any change. If customer says while you're developing the software and he gives you a change, sometimes it happens like as soon as like you started writing a code of 10 lines. You write one line and someone is sitting along with you and he's pinging you, no, I don't want this way, that way. You modify it. Then again you write the second line, again the person sitting behind you gives you a change, right? So it distracts, right? We are distracted with lot many changes of the ping again and again. But Agile says never get distracted, never deny any change, accept the changes whatever the customer gives. That is important here. Expect the system requirements to change and so the design system to accommodate these changes. So accept it and implement it. If possible, implement in the same iteration. But if it is not possible to implement in the same iteration, maybe it requires entire rework, so you can implement that change in the next iteration. So accept it. If possible, do it now. If not, do it in the next iteration, but never deny it simply. Then maintain simplicity. Maintain simplicity means now and then you are going to make frequent changes in your code, because customer is sitting and he is now and then giving the changes, right? So you're making, so whenever we keep on making changes in the code very frequently, we never take care of the like indentation or the variable names that we use in everything, right? Like in a lab, when you write a code, initially first time when you write a code, you take care of indentation. Whenever you have multiple nested loops, what you do is you take care of the indentation. Whenever you write the variables name, you try ki okay, for sum you'll write sum, for subtract you'll write sub, right? But when lot many changes comes in, we'll write variable name as a b c d, so it's not understood at all. Indentation is never taken care of, so it leads to confusion, right? Because your aim is, since time is less, your aim is just to make it work, so you never take care of the indentation or this extra work, because it hardly matters. You never add comment lines if the time is less. But what does this agile says? Maintain simplicity, because you're supposed to make so many changes, and a time would come if you make so many changes and not take care of all these things, the code will totally become unstructured and there will be no scope of making the change further, right? So better it says, whenever you make a change, just spare 1 or 2 minutes and make these changes in the sense, take care of the proper variable names, which signifies the functionality of that variable, for what it is used for. Take care of the indentation, add comment lines wherever possible, just to make your code understandable and visible, so that next time when you go and make the change on the same code, then it is properly understood, because you have taken care of all these guidelines and standards. But if you don't take care of these, so what will happen? You make so many changes. I'm not talking about 1 or 2 or 10 or hundreds of changes. Maybe it's thousands of changes that you have made. After that, it will be like not at all understandable. You were just making the changes to make it work, right? So ultimately there will be no scope for change and the software will become obsolete in that case. So you have to go and develop a new software. So it says, in order to have a long run software, it works for a longer duration. Maintain simplicity means restructure your code again and again when you are making a change, so that it is understandable and there is a scope of future changes also. So focus on simplicity in both the software being developed and in the development process. Wherever possible, actively work to eliminate complexity from the system. So these are the 5 principles. If you follow them properly, ultimately the core values will be achieved. So these 5 principles are customer involvement, incremental delivery, people not process, embrace change, and maintain simplicity. So we'll see in the further methods that we are going to study how these principles will be applicable there. Now, where does like you can use a agile method? Agile can only be used for a small or a medium sized product, not for the large scale, because if you have a large and a complex project, you have to break down into smaller parts, such that a smallest module or a unit can be delivered in 2 to 4 weeks, right? So it's very difficult. So it is applicable for small and medium sized products only. Then we can only use agile method when customer is committed to be a part of development process. Else, if the customer is not committed, we can never use this agile method. Then, and when there are a lot of rules, external rules and regulation that affects the software, then also we cannot use the software, because it's a free way of developing a software. It's one's own way of programming or coding, right? If someone is there, he's forcing you to follow certain instructions, so that will have least impact, right? You cannot develop it as you want or customer wants. And last one is scaling is a problem in agile, though it is applicable for small and medium sized project, but we cannot scale those methods to large scale, right? Because our focus is mainly on the small and tightly integrated teams. If you have a large and a complex project, then this team has to be increased, and when the team member increases, it leads to chaos and like cooperation or collaboration problems exist, right? So it may impact the work. So just applicable for small and medium, and we cannot scale it to larger ones. Now, what is the problem associated with agile? Though it is very good approach, seems to be a good approach, it's flexible, it's giving you a quality product in less time, less cost, customer is satisfied, everything is there, right? But again, there are problems associated with this. Now, let's see what are these problems. It can be difficult to keep the interest of customer who are involved in the process, right? Though you are taking care of the interest of the customer only, but maintaining that interest throughout the development, throughout the lifespan, it's very difficult. You cannot make everyone happy all the time, right? A time would come, you're making him happy, you are like accepting all his changes, implementing it maybe once, twice, tens or fifties or hundreds of times, but not more than that, right? So it will lead to a problem at some point of time. The intense involvement of the customer is really like you can say, and the team members are not happy with that, because if the customer is throughout involved, right, each time you write a single line or a word, he gives a change, no this way, no that way, like now this, now that, now I need this, you made this mistake, each time he is distracting you, right? So in that way it creates a problem, right? Team members are not happy with the situation, with the intense involvement of the customer, because they are not able to give their maximum you can say efficient work, since you are getting distracted, and ultimately then your aim is to just complete the work, you never take care of the quality, right, or efficiency. Then prioritizing the changes can be difficult. We know that we have to deliver the software in iteration, and we ask the customer to prioritize it. But say let's assume we have multiple customers for a given application, and the customer one says I want 10th requirement first. He prioritized 10th requirement as the first one, while the second customer says I need the 5th requirement. Now whom to satisfy, which requirement to develop first? If you have multiple stakeholders or the clients, then it becomes difficult, right? Because we can have multiple clients also. Then maintaining simplicity, it's not at all related to the work done, it's simply an extra work involved in your work, just for the sake of future changes only. You have to maintain simplicity. This is an extra work, or you can say the time, extra time and cost is required for that. But yes, it agile forces you to restructure your code again and again, so that you can implement future changes. Then contract may be a problem, as with other approaches to iterative development, right? This is also an iterative approach. The others we have done prior to this, like we have incremental model, we have iterative model, RAD, RUP, everyone was based on iterative approach. So the contracts are always a problem with this, yeah, because you are supposed to sign a document and you have to abide with that, then it leads to problem. So these are the problems which are associated with the agile methods. Now let's compare plan driven and agile development. Plan driven means SDLC, it is totally based on the plan, and you rigorously follow that plan. That means a process was there which was properly planned, and we were rigorously following that. While agile is not at all plan driven, we never follow a plan, we not even make a plan, and we neither follow it, right? It's a flexible approach. So what happens in a plan driven approach? Let's see with this. Say this is a plan driven example. We have divided our work into several phases, and after each phase a document is released. Say requirement engineering, then requirement specification document is released, right? Once the SRS document is released, you start with the designing. So arrows are missing here actually. This is a straight. After this document is released. This document acts as an input to the design phase. So we carry on with this, and this is iteration which is represented here, right? I'll make this change in this slide. This is an iteration. This is also iterative in nature, right? And once the design and implementation is done and any change is there, you go back to the requirement, you make that change, update the relevant document, and then you modify your design accordingly. So this is what a plan based approach. Requirement engineering is iterative. Once the requirement engineering is done, you prepare an SRS document which act as an input to the design phase. You keep on modifying the design until unless your design and implementation is done properly. If any change is required, you go back to the requirements and make the changes in the requirements and update your SRS document further. So this is a plan driven approach, right? Plan means you have divided it into phases, and then you are following these phases, and if any changes come, you have to make the changes in all the places. Well, what happens in an agile is we don't have any iterative phase here. Simply you carry out requirement engineering. That means customer gives you the requirement, you get it prioritized, and you start developing it directly, right? Design, coding and testing is interleaved here. You directly implement it, right? If any change come, you go back to the requirement engineering, and in the second iteration you develop the modified one. Again change come, in the third iteration you will deliver it. If any change come, fourth iteration, right? So these are not iterated in themselves. We are not going to make the change in the same phase, right? It says do this, again go back, second iteration. Changes come, again go back, third iteration. So this is what agile method is, right? So this is what the difference between plan driven and agile. Now we are supposed to do with agile methods. The first method is, though we have 4 or 5 methods, we are just concerned with the 2 methods as of now as per our syllabus. This is an extreme programming. We call it as XP, right? Extreme programming is a method of agile where we divide a task into subtasks, right? Task is actually, the requirement is known as user story here. The user story is divided into task, further divided into subtask, further divided into subtasks, until unless you can implement that subtask in 2 to 4 week of span, and we develop it, right? This is how we do it. But what does extreme means here? Extreme means here that if iteration is good, we have seen that iteration is the best policy and it must be implemented in order to give the working software very rapidly, and customer is satisfied with that. So it says that if iteration is such a good thing, why not to use it to the maximum extent, that is extreme extent. So what does this extreme means in extreme programming is, though we are saying an iteration can be delivered in 2 to 4 weeks in agile, but this says if there are minor changes, we can give a number of releases in a single day itself. That means a number of minor revisions or releases can be given in a single day. Don't wait for 2 to 4 weeks. In a day also you can give 10 to 15 or 20 releases with minor changes. So this is how the iteration is used to maximum extent in extreme programming. The second method is in Scrum. Scrum is comparable to the project management. Like we see, umbrella activity of SDLC was SPM, Software Project Management, which helps to manage your SDLC. Similarly, we have Scrum method to manage the software development using Agile method. So these are the 2 methods we'll be doing further in the next lecture onwards. Thank you for today.